Hey, what's going on, people? It's Guns Ryer from NextGenTactics, and the drama continues. There's even more. It's like non-stop with this Black Ops and Activision drama that's going on in the gaming world. The latest news, and of course the link to the related article is in the description of the video, so you can watch it there. However, the latest news is that a UK group called Gamers Voice has basically started an attack against Activision for basically poorly developing Black Ops, for not completing. The way that they're wording it is that they sold it to the public incomplete. Basically, they sold a product that should not have been released. They created it very, very well for Xbox because they're in partnership with them, like for the releases and stuff like that. But as far as the PS3 and PC, and this is basically the basis of their argument, is that the copies were released with way too many bugs, like beyond what is acceptable, but more or less unfinished. The game was released unfinished, and the perception is that we were testing it and perfecting it. It was like an extended period of testing to get all the bugs out, but let's release it on time to make sure that it's out in November, which, you know, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but I mean, based on what they're saying, it does sort of add up. And I know they're using established circumstances to actually say, well, this is what it seems to be. Because, I mean, you can go back and use kind of anything and create that. But if you're a PS3 gamer or a PC gamer, you know this largely to be true. I mean, the game was unplayable when it was first released for weeks. And you all know, I mean, I got fired up and I put out videos saying blah, 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 and it was unacceptable. So it's not that I completely disagree, and I'm just trying to give you guys the news here, but it seems that this group, and while it's in the United Kingdom, UK, across the pond there, I call the pond, which is the Atlantic Ocean, while it's a different court system, what could basically happen depending on what the courts decide here, and they're actually getting the government a fair trade involved against them, saying that basically, you know, you've caused us millions of people to purchase this game, and yet you sold us an unfinished product. You know, basically false marketing and all that other stuff started adding up to what became, you know, $1 billion record sales. And so their company, this Gamers Voice, is going to be legally attacking Activision. Now, while it is in the UK, the ramifications of what the courts decide there can have tremendous ripple effects across here in North America and the rest of the world. While the court system's different and what they decide there doesn't affect the court systems in the law here, it can set a precedence. And a precedence, for those of you that don't know, is basically it sets a pillar, the base, an example of the gaming industry. And what happens there, the court systems are not so different here. If that happens there, you can almost be guaranteed that similar instances can and likely will pop up in North America. And if it happens, if something is decided in courts in the UK against Activision, saying, yeah, you know what, you did wrong here, we will punish you, the lawyers and everything involved in Activision will, I guarantee you, I mean, this is the way it happens. I mean, I used to work in law as well, so I'm aware of how these things happen. The lawyers for Activision, for the North American distribution, will be like, we got to seal this up, we got to do something now because it's going to come down the line. Believe me, if it happens in the UK, the ripple effect will be amplified here. The rest of us will be like, you know what, you're right, we don't have to take this, we shouldn't have to just sort of fall prey to, you know, marketing and buy these products that we think are actually going to be really good and completely, you know, incomplete or unfinished. That's what I was going to say, and then I mixed them up. But anyway, so the group, too, that's in the UK, the Gamers Voice, was actually set up by a member of Parliament, and I can't remember the individual's name, but this isn't just like some kid that created this Gamers Voice. This is a member of Parliament that created this this organization. It's a consumers organization for gamers. So this is a very highly organized community of gamers and people that support it. These are not just like some kids that got together and said, hey, let's go and take down Activision. So I guarantee you that there is some worry by Activision in terms of this, because I mean, if you look at what's happened, have you ever, I mean, look how many news articles we're doing and how much attack that Activision is coming under, you know, Treyarch and everyone, for Black Ops. You know what I mean? The biggest selling game of the year, and evidently the biggest disappointment for a mass, you know, thousands, millions of gamers. So this is, it's not really surprising that this has happened. There was a petition that started last year as well for PS3 gamers to get all their money back. They wanted to exchange their game and they wanted their money back for the game. And it was one of the, not necessarily the first people to do this, but it was certainly the largest. And it started from November. By the end of the year, there was something like 9,000 signatures or something like that. That's actually a lot. That's a lot. I mean, we're talking about the gaming industry here, and to get all of you together to actually agree to something, that's quite a bit. But this decision and this attack on Activision from the fair trade in the UK, we're talking about government level here. And we're talking about something that will set a precedent. If Activision, you know, if the courts decide that, you know what, you were wrong, and what you did was wrong to the consumers, and they punish them, because it's usually what is it called? Punitive, not punitive damages, exemplary damages. Well, here at least in North America, or in Canada at least, it's called exemplary damages, and I know you have them in the US as well. And exemplary is basically making an example. So they will punish them financially to make an example of the company to the rest of the developers. And what happens is the rest of the developers in our gaming world, all of them, every single one of them, will all sit back and go, whoa, not that they would purposely have done, and I shouldn't say that I was going to say what they would, what's done by Activision. I'm trying to word it carefully here, but you know, they're definitely going to sit back and go, okay, let's make sure that this product is well. No more pushing products out year after year if they're not complete. You know, a lot of us are saying like every year the same thing over and over and over again, whether it's finished and it's just pumping out this content. A decision like this could very much throw a wrench in that system. Either more pressure on the developers to make sure it's done, or bigger delays. No more every single November, because that's exactly what Activision does. No matter what happens, apparently, November comes along, you put that game out, and no matter what. And I think a decision like this would have incredibly huge ramifications on that. There would be no more of that. The flip side to that is you're going to see a lot of delays. But you know what? As a gamer, I don't care about delays. And I know a lot of you have voiced your opinions on this as well. I would rather the developer take the time to perfect the game, to bring out a game and release the game perfected and ready to actually play without having huge problems. And a decision like this would basically almost force these companies to do that, because if the courts decide something in the UK and the precedence is set, that means any other company that does it, court's decision is really fast, because what they do is they look back to the original case, which would be the Activision case versus Gamer's Voice, and if there were certain rules established there, the precedents, then what happens is they almost automatically apply it to it. So the courts and these lawsuits would actually go very, very quickly, and it's very dangerous for gamers, game developers rather. So anyway, that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at basically, I know some of you are like, oh, whatever, it's in the UK, but it's not that. The global ramifications of this are tremendous. This is a very, very important court case. As a gamer in North America or anywhere else in the world, you should be following this. This is going to actually have a tremendous impact on the rest of the gaming industry. Everything, whether it's Activision, or it could be EA, it could be Guerrilla Games, which is Killzone 3, or whoever it is, Bungie. The ramifications of something like this in courts is tremendous as gamers. So if I find anything else out, I will, as per usual, report to all of you so that you're sort of aware of what's going on. But I'm very interested to see where this goes. And personally, I would like to see some accountability, whether or not they actually did it. But I think the idea in my head that, you know, eventually game developers are going to be held accountable for this. That they're not just going to use the power and the sort of momentum of this marketing campaign, which is what kind of probably happened with Black Ops, to force us and coerce us, not coerce us, but it's like propaganda almost, where we're all like, boom, buy it. You know what I mean? Record sales, that's what happens. But they can't do that unless that product is finished. And I'm all up for that. I think that's going to be a good thing. I don't know necessarily if that's exactly what happened with Black Ops, but it'll be interesting to see what happens and what the decisions in the UK courts are. Anyway, that's it. Leave your comments. I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of comments on this and opinions, so I'm very curious to see what all of you have to say, whether you think this is a good thing, or a bad thing, or, you know, whatever. Maybe you just don't really even care. Maybe you're like, ah, whatever, man, I'm still playing my games, whatever. Anyway, that's it. I'm GunSurvivor from NextGenTactics. I'll keep you guys posted. Peace. Hey guys, we're on Netflix! Okay, well, we're not on Netflix, but we are officially sponsored by them now. Thousands of movies and TV shows available every day at the click of a button. For a free 1-month trial membership, simply click on the link in the description, courtesy of NextGenTactics. Yeah, you're welcome.